We have new information tonight about how the chair of the Canadian Mint signed a deal to try to keep the Canada Revenue Agency in the dark about an offshore tax avoidance scheme. We've already told you about James Love. He was sued by members of the family of a former Prime Minister for his part in that offshore scheme. And as Susan Bonner tells us, the settlement itself is now raising concerns.
As chair of the Canadian Mint, James Love enjoyed the public spotlight, but Revenue Canada might have been kept in the dark about his part in an offshore tax avoidance scheme that put him at the center of a $15 million lawsuit. That's Love's signature on an unusual confidentiality clause included in the dispute settlement. In it, everyone agreed not to talk to tax authorities except as required by law. It was approved by a court order.
I've never seen a clause like this exactly.
The Dean of Civil Law at Ottawa U says, well, there's no law requiring anyone to report any suspicions to the CRA. It is against public interest to legally bar anyone from doing so.
I think it raises a red flag because these clauses have been held to be against public policy.
The original lawsuit includes allegations that James Love wanted to keep details about the offshore structures secret. In one letter, he wrote about sensitivity from a taxation perspective. All of this might be awkward for Love's close friend, Finance Minister Jim Flaherty, who has talked tough on taxes.
But it's apparent that there is still substantial tax avoidance and tax evasion, and some of it through quite sophisticated methods.
This tax expert says the judge who signed off on the clause wasn't trying to prevent CRA scrutiny. He likely just wanted to settle a raging multi-year dispute.
The allegations which were made were just allegations. There was nothing tested from an evidentiary point of view. And so he would have concluded, I expect, that this decision endorsing the private settlement was a matter of public interest.
But the official opposition leader believes someone has something to hide.
If everything's above board, why in heaven's name would you impose a clause saying you're not allowed to speak with the revenue agencies?
Clause or no clause, the CRA now knows about the suspicions. It won't say what it will do with the information, and the government still isn't saying anything about the chair of the Mint and the questions around him. Susan Bonner, CBC News, Toronto.